I know you believe in God, but believing is not the same as abiding. Knowing He exists is not the same as walking with Him. And loving God from a distance is not the same as living in His presence. There are levels with God that many never reach, not because God withholds Himself, but because they never draw close enough to find Him. Drawing nearer to God means coming without masks, without pretending, without hiding behind church language, while your heart remains distant. There is a kind of hunger God cannot ignore. Not hunger for blessings, not hunger for breakthrough, hunger for Him. Some of you have been praying, but you haven't been lingering. You speak, but you don't listen. You rush through prayer as if God is an appointment instead of your lifeline. God is not interested in rushed devotion. He desires dwellers, people who stay, people who wait, people who don't leave when it gets quiet. You cannot draw nearer to God while holding tightly to what pulls you away from Him. Drawing near to God means trusting Him enough to let Him rearrange your life. There is a reason Jesus often withdrew to lonely places to pray, because intimacy with God is built away from crowds, noise, and applause. The closer you get to God, the more sensitive you become to His voice. What once felt normal begins to feel heavy. What once entertained you begins to grieve you. When God is near, sin loses its attraction, not because you're forcing yourself to resist, but because closeness changes desire. Some of you are exhausted because you've been trying to live a Christian life without Christ at the center of it. God's presence is not measured by feelings. It is anchored in faith. There will be days when you don't feel close, but closeness is not a feeling. It is a decision to stay. Some of the deepest work God does happens in quiet seasons, when no one sees, when nothing feels exciting, when faith is tested. But those who stay near during silence experience Him louder in due season. Intimacy requires attention. You cannot draw nearer to God while constantly feeding everything else. If prayer is rare, intimacy will be shallow. If the word is neglected, clarity will be missing. If worship is optional, connection will fade. God is not asking for perfection. He is asking for priority. Drawing nearer to God means choosing Him when no one is watching, when there's no music playing, when there's no motivation video in the background. Just you and Him. That is where presence deepens. God wants you to know Him, not just know about Him, to recognize His voice, to sense His leading, to feel His peace in chaos. But those things come with proximity. When you draw nearer to God, your life begins to align. Your priorities shift, your reactions change. Your faith matures. You stop panicking. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop chasing what God never assigned to you. Because being near God teaches you contentment in His will.